We all dream of our own personal place, specifically of a house or apartment where we can arrange everything the way we want. The main difficulty to fulfilling this dream is always the price. To buy land and organize construction or to purchase a completed house, all this costs a lot of money, and not every one of us has so much money. However, if you are smart and talented, you can find a way out. The character of this video, Steve Aaron, was able to build not just a simple house, but a unique art piece. He came up with the idea in 2011 when he received land in Thailand. His friend Hajaro Jabrano, who was building domed houses in northern Thailand, decided to help him and inspired Steve to realize such an idea. The area around was very picturesque, and it could be that the beautiful view of the monsoon forest inspired Steve to interesting thoughts. In addition to the land, he was lucky to get free concrete blocks that he later used in the construction of his amazing home. The unusual-looking house even has its own specific name. It's an igloo. Canadian Eskimos usually build such houses in winter. Canadian Eskimos normally use compacted snow or blocks of ice as a building material, but Steve, living in a country with a hot climate, decided to build an igloo from concrete and clay. Having bought additional materials, the man began to make his dream come true. He was transforming his idea day by day. Steve was a talented guy who possessed a designer flair. He didn't want his house to look like an ordinary one. That's why his house looks like 3 delicious oranges from the side. When the sun is going down, the house turns into a fabulous sight. The unusual appearance of the house is harmoniously combined with practicality. Inside, there is everything necessary for a comfortable life. A bed in the bedroom, a sink in the kitchen, an unusual shower, water and electricity are available in the house. Natural materials prevail in the decoration. Thanks to large windows and openings carved into the dome, the house has excellent natural light. Window alcoves can also serve as cozy relaxation areas. On one of the oranges is a gazebo where one can relax under the shade of dried leaves in a hammock. Nearby, Steve built a small decorative pond with lilies. Despite the fact that the building is unique and extraordinary, Steve spent only about $9,000 to build the igloo and make his idea real in around 40 days. The total area of the house is 47 square meters. It is not surprising that many people around the world became interested in his idea. He even thinks of opening a company to help other people build such domed houses because the costs are not large and the construction time takes a bit more than 1 month. Do you like this house? Write your opinion in the comments down below. In 1999, a man named Angelo Mastropietro and his friends were traveling in the UK. They organized a bike ride in the county of Worcestershire. During this fascinating tour, the friends discovered a cave that had been abandoned since the 1940s, and the cave was over 250 million years old. The guys explored it and continued their journey. Then Angelo returned home. He was from Australia. Angelo was like everyone else. He worked and he was doing business. One day, at the age of 37, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. It was the reason why the businessman decided to quit his busy work and change his lifestyle. Surprisingly, traveling again to the UK in 2010, Angelo found out that this cave was for sale and he decided to buy it. He had an idea. He wanted to build a house in this cave. His friends and colleagues laughed at him and advised him not to do it, but Angelo wanted to live in a place where he could be alone and stay with his thoughts in silence, away from city noise. The cave cost £60,000, and Angelo spent £100,000 more to build a home inside it. During the construction work, he had to remove more than 80 tons of rock. Sometimes it took more than 2 weeks of work to break through only a door, but Angelo did not give up because he believed that he would succeed. Finally, the designer and the owner of the house really liked his result. Angelo made the bedroom very bright and warm, and he had the opportunity to stay away from the city noise and bustle. The bed was made of natural wood. He decided to make the living room spacious with a fireplace and wooden furniture. In the living room, he cut out a window to make it light and cozy. At first, Angelo decided to make a bath in stone, but soon made a shower there since he decided not to spend money every time on heating a large amount of water. In the bathroom, instead of standard tiles, he used pebbles. It gave the bathroom luxury and style. He also planned and built a kitchen with everything for cooking. The owner of the cave built a modern house with all the amenities. Nevertheless, he remained faithful to natural materials in the interior decoration as he wanted to be closer to nature. Angelo made a wooden sink himself, and it fit perfectly to the interior of the cave. Large windows were installed along the facade of the whole house so that the house had a lot of natural light, and ivy descended from the walls of the facade like a cascade. Angelo also built a chimney for his wood stove. Near the house, he built a huge terrace where he arranged wooden furniture for relaxing in the open air. It was a place where friends could meet. Angelo made lighting for the terrace to use when it was getting dark outside. The cave is located in a sandstone rock. As a result, Angelo built a modern house with heating, electricity, and internet. It cost him £160,000. It is much lower than the cost of a house in the UK. Angelo said that his disease taught him to listen to his own heart and to live life differently. When you walk in the forest, you can relax and enjoy the nature. You feel calm, and you can watch animals around you. You can see squirrels, hares, many different insects, and also huge trees and rocks. Mark Andrew, a forest ranger in Arcata, California, found something he had never seen before. His discovery was very unusual. It happened in 2015. Mark Andrew investigated forests in Northern California. Looking after natural resources was among his functions. He knew the forest very well, at least he thought so. One day when he was wandering through the forest as usual, he found a strange hut. It was located in the depths of the forest. It was clear that someone built it illegally. The man had no idea what he would find inside, so he decided to call other people. The hut was located far from the places he usually went. Last time Mark wandered here many years ago, probably the one who built it did not expect anyone to find their structure. It was surprising that the hut was built very professionally and carefully. The height of the building, including the roof and attic, was almost 14.7 feet. The walls were made of wood. But the most amazing thing about this mysterious building was that there was not any path leading to it. And Mark also noticed that there was no garbage that you can always see around residential buildings. The person who lived there respected nature. The forest ranger decided to call the police and Forest Protection Service. They entered the hut with the inspector, Heidi Grossman. They did not know what was waiting for them inside. The woman went in with a gun. The hut was empty. Then they started exploring the rooms. They wanted to find some information about the owner. The rooms were well equipped. There was food and cleaning supplies in the house. The hut looked like an ordinary apartment building. In one of the rooms, there was a table with a kettle on it. There was also a chair and a stove. The person who lived there must have felt quite comfortable. There were shelves with different kinds of books on the wall. There were books on psychology, plants, and other interesting topics. They also found some old tapes on the shelves. Mark and Heidi thought that an old person lived there. They continued searching for some other things which would help them find out more information about the unusual owner of this house. Then they saw a piece of paper with some notes. It was a list of what a person wanted to do. It told them a bit about the life of the owner of the house. There were items such as make some renovations, get wooden materials, and other things. On one of the shelves, there was a newspaper dated March 2015. From this list and newspaper, researchers understood how long this mysterious person had lived there. Several driver's licenses for different names were also found in the house, but they did not know whether any of them belonged to the person living there. The only thing they understood was that the man came home for short periods. As the building was illegal, but the owner did not do any harm to the environment, the commission decided to leave him a warning letter. In this letter, they asked him to demolish the house. After that, the story became even stranger. Several days later, the police came to this place again, but there was no hut anymore. The place was completely empty. They saw only one sign on the ground instead of the building. It was an international symbol of squatters. The owner took everything with him, leaving neither his belongings nor construction waste. It is simply unbelievable how a person managed to build such a house and kept it a secret. Probably we will never know who the mysterious owner of the hut was. The man whom I will tell you about now lives in poverty, but the reason is not that he had lost his job and house, but because he made the choice himself. Meet Dan Price. He is about 50 years old. 20 years ago, he had a wife, work, a house, and 2 children. Then Price's marriage broke up and he decided to live alone in a house in the forest. So he started living in a small dugout, looking like a hobbit dwelling. In this small dwelling, everything is in such order that you would not feel lack of space. He sleeps, cooks, eats, and rests there. Well, he leads his life there. At the same time, Price has gas, electricity, cell phone communication, and the internet, so he is not away from modern technologies. He has only 1 spoon, 1 fork, and 1 knife, and he cooks very simple meals with them. Dan took a long-term lease of land for $100 a year, and his income is about $5,000 a year. He works as a cemetery ranger nearby. You see, this is a very modest income. Although the unemployment benefit is about $1,000 a month, this man's income after his average monthly expenses barely exceeds $200. People want to earn more and more to create their own paradise. Here I have everything the rich have, says Price. He does not buy new tools. He prefers to search for the right things on sale or second-hand ads and uses them as long as possible before replacing them. As time passed, next to his dugout, Dan Price built a toilet, a bathhouse, a barn, and a small garage for his cycle car. He washes his clothes in a stream nearby and dries them on ropes he specially stretched for these purposes. Around his home, he regularly mows the grass, keeping in order the surrounding area. Dan is happy that he made himself free from the routine of daily work from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and considers his former life to be slavery. Now Dan works with pleasure, relaxing, and what he earns is enough for him. That is all. What do you think of Dan? Maybe a person really needs not so much.